Good morning. I am Philip Castillo, the Managing Director at Jahn Architecture, Inc. I'm here representing the Pritzker Military Archives Center, which has been nominated in both the categories of culture and American beauty. The design intent was really based on the idea of honoring the citizen soldier, which is the main goal of the museum. So in addition to being an archive center, we actually expanded the program to include an exhibition center and to make the building more of a welcoming experience within the landscape. The architecture and the landscape design really hark back to the idea of military. The building is influenced by the landing craft that were used at Normandy in World War II. The landscape represents these kind of ideas of trench warfare and way that fortresses were designed, which is really what this rampart around the site is. The building for us as architects was really, represented with this kind of attitude of rough and tough military equipment. All the bolts are exposed. The welds are left unground. It's not this kind of fine-tuned element. And the building its steel construction kind of represents that. When you look at the building, you see and understand how it comes together. I think it was WAF-nominated because the building, it's an interesting solution to almost a pragmatic problem. How do you deal with archival storage space? How do you introduce people to the memories and the commemorations of the citizen soldier who were so much a part of the U.S. effort during the World Wars? We were fortunate we had a rural site, so it was slightly sloped, and I think the challenge on the landscape, which was brilliantly solved by Tom Osland at O2 Design, was this idea of the circular rampart that disappears into the landscape and comes back out, and it offers you different perspectives of the building as you are down under and you see the building reappearing as you come back up to grade. There were challenges. The original design had a glass roof with this overhang, and I think what ended up happening as we had to deal with issues, the pragmatic issues like cost, we changed it to the steel trellis, which floats over the building and creates kind of a modern interpretation of a cornice. Well, the buildings that we do have been steeped in a long history of pragmatism and constructability and moving technology forward. This is not an architecture about creating a different shape because we have all these tools that can do this. What it really is about is expressing a building for what it is. And what I like to say is it shows its constructed attitude. You walk into a building and you understand the structure, the technical systems, the glazing, and we always are striving to have buildings that perform at a higher level and that respect their environment and are places of curiosity, of places that people enjoy coming to. My top tips for a young designer going into a crit is really make sure your presentation is to the point. Do not have images that are not relevant to what the story you want to convey is. Include sketches, include models. I think it's really this idea of telling the story of how a building got from the nugget of a concept to an executed construction.